and relatives. You never know the magical effect it will have on him or her when someone say, I will be there for you. This is not just a statement, but in my view, these are the magic words to live without worry and to become successful in our life. So welcome all to the joint meeting of Toastmaster Club Pune-West and Bane Toastmaster Club. Our club provides a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop the communication and leadership skill, resulting in a greater self-confidence and personal growth. For everyone's benefit, let me explain some basic rules of the meeting. Please mute your microphone when you are not speaking. Also, rename yourself by prefixing with your meeting role or with the Toastmaster if you are an active Toastmaster in any club, or a guest if you are not a Toastmaster with any club. Please put your mobile on silent mode to avoid any distraction when you get a chance to speak. Be cognizant of body movement, multitasking, and backgrounds. You can download the background from the Toastmaster International website or request to VPPR to get the backgrounds. Use the chat box for any questions or comments. For feedback, you can send it on one-on-one message to the speaker only. Please clap or use the clap emoticon whenever the control is transferred. And when you are begin speaking, the correct protocol is that you have to greet in the following manner, like good evening, presiding officer, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmaster, and guest. Without a further ado, I would like to invite the person with the humorous speech contest winner area as well as club of the 2020 and is an independent fintech strategy consultant by professor. So please welcome the one and only our presiding officer, Toastmaster Parijat.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vinod, for that wonderful start and lovely introduction. My dear Toastmasters and distinguished guests, good evening. And a very warm welcome and a hearty Diwali wishes to one and all today. It is indeed my privilege to preside the 467th meeting of Toastmasters Club of Pune-West and 231st meeting of Bane Toastmasters Club. I formally call this meeting to order now. So put together two clubs, we today have a rich experience of over 13 years. Toastmasters Club of Pune-West has been running for nearly 9 years now. So much of rich history. And it's an absolute pleasure on behalf of Bane Club to join hands today for this wonderful festive meeting. Do we have any guests today? Can someone help me if we have any guests?
I'm the guest today. I'm a guest today.
Hi, Prashant.
Hi.
Hi, can you please introduce yourself in just maybe 15 seconds? How did you come to know about Toastmasters and what are you looking for from this meeting?
I came to know about Toastmasters from Astha, who's right here in the meeting. She introduced me to Toastmasters in a way that Toastmasters help you improve your public speaking skills, and they do it every week. So I was like, okay, let's try it.
That's great. That's a great summary.
Yeah.
All right. So I hope you enjoy the meeting today. Do we have any other guests right now?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Astha.
Hi, Astha.
I am attending Toastmasters meeting for the third time, and I'm really loving it. I'm looking forward to being a member very soon. And I'm an engineering student in my final year of mechanical engineering.
That's very wonderful, Astha. Good to hear from you. Anyone else?
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Samruddhi.
Hi, Samruddhi.
I am from Clarion Toastmasters Club, We are a corporate club, and I got to know about this meeting on Toastmasters link group, and I
Okay.
saw the title, and I was very about the theme, and then I got interested about the theme, so I joined the meeting.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah,
And all credit to our TMOD for the wonderful theme. And I'll not hold you long to hear from him.
thank you.
Thank you for joining in. Anyone else?
Yeah, hi, this is Rohit.
Hi, Rohit.
This is my second session. Um, Basically, regarding my profession, I am working like as a software developer in one of the MNCs, and I came to know about Toastmasters from like my previous organization. So I was working with SAS, and over there I came to know about this. So yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for joining in. Anyone else? So we heard from 4 guests already. All right. So that's wonderful. For guests, just to reiterate, as some of you already know, Toastmasters is a network of thousands of clubs all across the world, part of Toastmasters International, which is a non-profit organization. And the entire concept has been running for over 90 years now, in which there is this learn by doing environment that is provided to members who participate to help them improve on their communication and public speaking skills. And there are numerous leadership opportunities that are available to operate this self driven organization, which actually provides enough learning opportunities. So if you have more questions or if you're agog about Toastmasters, then you can contact the vice president membership of either of the clubs. So Toastmaster Tushar is for Baner Club. I'm not very sure of the person who manages the Toastmasters Club of Pune-West. I believe it would be Swapnil, if you can help me, who will be the right person. So guess you can reach out to any of those people outside this meeting or on a personal chat here and understand more about Toastmasters. Now, coming over to the theme today, I am really love team sports because in team sports, it takes more than two to tango to win or participate or deliver in those games. Even if one falters, your teammate are always there. They stand behind you to make sure that the team does well than an individual. As humans, we are social animals. We need people around us to guide us, to motivate us, to nurture us, to criticize us, to help us grow, survive. So, as Toastmaster Vinod said, we have parents, we have teachers, we have friends, we have larger families and bosses and peers and everything. And at Toastmasters also, we have mentors and fellow members who help us grow together. So we look for their advices, for their approvals. I call them as personal support system, PSS. Now you have professional PSS also, where you have coaches, former counselors who can come in and fill this gap. And wonderfully, these people do not necessarily judge you or ridicule you. They provide you the genuine feedback. And in this virtual world, I find there are virtual guides for us also, or virtual PSS for us. For me, they are my mobile phone and Google. Wherever I am, I was traveling international. I did not know the language, but I could just fall back to Google because Google said, I'll be there for you. So with that, I have so many people supporting me, but am I actually supporting others? Can someone count on me? So I urge each one of you on this Diwali occasion that can we all commit and add at least one more person every year who can count on us and who we can tell them that I'll always be there for you so that you can become their support system. And this way, perhaps we can add over 40 people in our adult life who we can support. Since we are all agog to hear more on this subject, which has lot more interesting themes and interesting memories from the series called Friends. I don't want to hold you up and invite our Toastmaster of the day today, who's a computer engineering student, a foodie, a traveler, and credits his mother for whatever he is today, because his mother always was there, is there for him. So let us invite very radiant Toastmaster Rahul on the virtual stage today. Rahul, I'll be there for you. I'm sure you are there for everyone for the next 2 hours.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm audible.
Yes,
Yeah, thank you so much, Toastmaster Parijat, for the brilliant, introduction. And you explained much of the theme in the first place. So, you reduced some of my burden. So thank you so much. Yeah, so fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, a very good evening to one and all present here. I'm Toastmaster Rahul, and I am grateful to be the Toastmaster of the day for today's meeting. Sorry. This meeting is a joint meeting by the Toastmasters Club of Pune-West and Baneri Toastmasters Club, hosting their 231st and 467 chapter meetings respectively. In case of any doubt, I am there for you. And yeah, that's the theme of this meeting. But before we discuss further about the meeting, I am grateful that I have a team which is supporting me throughout the meeting. So yeah, first of all, the Sergeant at Arms, that is the person who gave the introduction at the beginning, is Toastmaster Vinod, and he's a product advisor in Cummins. It's his profession. He loves trekking as a hobby, and his view on this theme is, "I'll be there for you" is a big statement, and it needs courage to say this and fulfill when someone needs you. It gives him happiness and courage to take challenges when someone says this to him. So, Toastmaster Vinod, I welcome you on the screen to explain the role of our counter.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Okay, so good evening, presiding officer, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmaster, and dear guest. My duty as a counter today is to listen attentively to each speaker and make a note of the following words used by the speaker, like I will follow the EFO structure. That's unwanted crutch sound, that's a U, and the filler words, that's a F, and the overlong pause, that's a O. So somebody make a crutch sound like so I'll be keeping note of this, as well as the filler words and the filler phrases. I will display my report when called upon by the TMOD. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Vinod. Yeah. So moving on to the timer. So the timer would be keeping track of the speeches that we guys would be speaking throughout the meeting, and that role would be performed by Toastmaster Mansi Kasande. Her "I'll be there for you" moment was when her sister was very anxious about her CET exam as it got postponed due to the pandemic. Her whole family had her back, and they were really happy for her when she finally gave her exam on the 19th of October. So Toastmaster Mansi, would you like to explain the role of timer?
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. TMOD presiding officer, fellow and future Toastmasters, good evening. The hallmark of a great speaker is that they express their thought within a specific time. And to help you doing exactly that, I'll be there for you. I will be keeping track of the time of the speeches, the evaluations, and the debate session today. For that, I will be taking help of the Toastmasters.calibro site, timer.calibro site. Let me give you a demo of that site. Suppose it is a table topic session, then the green light will be shown at 1 minute, the yellow light will be shown at 1 minute 30 seconds, red light at 2 minutes, and the screen will start blinking after additional 30 seconds. Now, some of the speakers might be sharing their screen. So for that, I request them to pin my video, and I will be showing post-it notes on the screen. So please pin your video if you are sharing, pin my video if you are sharing the screen. So that's it from my side. Over to the TMOD.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mansi. Moving on to the language evaluator. So he would be keeping track of the good and not so good usages of the English language in our speeches, and he would be introducing the word of the day and the idiom of the day as well. So that role will be performed by Toastmaster Anvay Atkekar, who is a fourth-year engineering student at PICT. And he has interest in astronomy and watching football. I'll be there for you moment was when last year it was raining heavily, and he was stuck near Dandekar Bridge in Pune. And luckily he had one extra raincoat. So he gave his extra raincoat to one person who was in need. And he could sense the happiness when he offered his raincoat to that person. So, I request Toastmaster Anvay to, explain his role of the language evaluator.
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. I will just share my screen. So is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah, so as a language evaluator, my role is to keep track of all the good usage of the English language. I will also keep track of all the phrases, the words which I find intriguing. I will also spot all the not so good usage of the English language and all the grammatical errors. Now I will introduce the word of the day and the idiom of the day. So the word of the day for today is agog. It is an adjective meaning very eager or curious to hear or see something. So few examples are: the little kids were agog as they waited for Santa Claus to arrive, or fans of the movie series are agog about the upcoming release of the new film. So can anyone use agog in a sentence? They can unmute themselves and use.
I was agog to see the finals yesterday.
Yes, that's great.
I'm agog to see fellow Toastmaster Siddhant Apte, who's also a very good friend of mine. I'm very agog to listen to him and watch him speak.
Yes, that's great also. So the idiom of the day is it takes two to tango. Now tango was an South American dance back in 1952, and it took two people to perform that dance. So the expression came into being in 1950s, meaning certain actions or activities cannot be performed alone. They need two people to participate, or both people involved in a situation are equally responsible for it. So a few examples can be don't blame me for the argument. It takes two to tango. You and I are equally responsible. Or I cannot do this alone. Neither can you. It takes two to tango. So as we have a debate today, I think that many people can use this idiom of the day. So can anyone use this idiom of the day in a sentence and can give an example?
In a marriage, whenever there's an argument, it usually takes two to tango, but husbands are always wrong at the end.
Yes, okay, that's correct. Anyone else?
Do you mind if I try?
Yeah, go ahead.
Today's meeting took two to tango, as Toastmasters Club of Pune-West and Banner Toastmasters Club. Yeah,
Yes,
I'm not sure whether the usage is correct, but
no,
yeah,
that's
because
correct. Because it takes
clubs,
two
so
people for the success of the meeting. So that's correct.
Yeah.
So if So if anyone uses the word of the day or the idiom of the day in a sentence, please give a thumbs up like this. So as we can see, our presiding officer used the word of the day and I was giving a thumbs up for, so if anyone else uses this, please give a thumbs up like this, or if your video is off, you can give a thumbs up in the emoji bar in which we have in Zoom. So yeah, that's it. And I will also tell you how many speakers used the word of the day or the idiom of the day at the end of the meeting. Thank you. Over to the TMOD, and I am agog for today's meeting. I will now stop sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anvay. Someone would be keeping track of the proceedings that would be taking place in this meeting, and he is nothing. He is no one but the general evaluator, and that role would be performed by the presiding officer, Toastmaster Parijat himself. So yeah. So are you agog for today's theme? Everyone? Yeah, please give a thumbs up. Yeah. So let's begin. Today, all of us are at a stage where we have experienced thick and thin of our lives. From the beginning of our childhood, our parents made sure that we don't suffer anything from anything. Our teachers made sure that our hopes and ambitions remain high and that we never let go of our morals and ideals. I know I am being a little philosophical, but let's move on to the real life examples. So regarding the previous two examples, those were major incidents where they stood for us. When at work, our bosses give loads of work to be done in just 2 to 3 days. And our minds, as always, are exhausted. We don't want to do that work. But there is always that one colleague of ours who supports us, who is always there for us. And he says, "Bhai, tu ye mat kar, tu Dream 11 pe jaake team bana." And he takes over that work. In a way, he was there for us. In a way, this theme is dedicated to those people who have stood for us, even in the darkest times, in thick and thin. And I made sure that we don't suffer from, and I made sure that we don't suffer from anything. Be it anyone from work, from school, from Toastmasters. Be it someone who serves for the country, like a politician, like a policeman or a doctor during this pandemic. This meeting is a token of gratitude for all such people. Now, there are plenty of stories that I would like to share. But before that, let's move on to the prepared speeches. So the prepared speeches, there are 4 prepared speeches. Two speeches would be given by the speakers from Barnet Toastmasters Club, and 2 speeches would be given by speakers from Toastmasters Club of Pune-West. So the first speech is to be given by Toastmaster Yatin from Barnet Toastmasters Club, and he would be attempting a speech of level 3 and project 2. So I request the evaluator for the same, that is, I believe, just a moment. Toastmaster Puneet, I think. So yeah, I request him to read out the objectives of the speech.
Thank you so much, Rahul. I'm audible and visible, right? Can someone confirm? Thank you, Parijay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for confirming. So good evening, everyone. So Toastmaster Yatin today will be attempting level 3 project 2 from the pathway leadership development, and his project involves using presentation software. So the purpose statement of this project is for Yatin to introduce us, review and demonstrate basic presentation software strategies for creating and using slides to support or enhance his speech. Timer, please note that the time is 5 to 7 minutes with a grace period of 30 seconds. Wishing Toastmaster Yatin all the best. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Puneet. Actually, I don't know the title of Toastmaster Yatin's speech.
Securing transactions. Securing transactions.
Yeah, okay. So over to you, Toastmaster Yatin. Securing transactions, Toastmaster Yatin. Toastmaster Yatin, securing transactions.
Thank you, TMOD. Can I just do some checks? I need to share my screen, and I'm actually unable to pin the timer. So is there, Parijat, anything that I need to do in specific to get the timer pinned, please?
You can pin me now. My video was off.
Yeah.
You can do it now.
Yeah, when I click on those three dots, I only see chat actually for some reason.
I think
you need to
with
make
the
a
new
host.
with the new version, you will have to make Yatin the
Host.
co-host for the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, so timer, I think Mansi.
Just give me a minute.
Yeah, you can make him the co-host, then he'll be able to pin.
Can you do it now?
Give me 1 second. Yes, replace spotlight. Okay, so I'm getting replaced. Is that what's happening?
No, you don't need to replace spotlight. You can just pin Mansi.
Oh, pin. Okay, sorry. Okay, my apologies. Please, somebody spotlight me back and I'll just pin. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, I've done that. You guys can see my screen. Is it in the presentation mode?
Yes.
Now, yes.
Now, yes, right? Okay, perfect. I think I am. Give me one more second. I'm just going to minimize all my other screens so that I can just see what I'm going to deliver. Okay. All right.
You can put it in slideshow. I think.
Is it not in slideshow?
Now it is not. I think you moved away to the normal PPT window.
Okay. All right. I don't know what happened. Give me one
try
second.
making it full screen. I think.
Yeah.
From the slideshow tab.
Is it now slideshow mode?
Yes.
Yeah. Now it's visible.
Okay. Let's see. I'm just trying to think of. Okay. All right. Is this still in the slideshow mode?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Apologies for all the inconvenience. I want all of you guys to think of these three questions. When you have a formal document, who secures it for you? Question number 2. How many transactions do you perform on a daily basis? And the third and the most important question, whenever you are doing or performing an online transaction, how secure or how safe do you feel? Good evening, presiding officer, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmasters, and dear guests. Nowadays, most of our transactions are online. But a few decades ago, all of these transactions were performed on a piece of paper. Now, for you millennials out there, this might be a novel concept. But remember, all of these transactions were performed, all the records were maintained on a piece of paper. And these papers had challenges. Of course, managing these records were not easy. I am not here to talk about the challenges that you have when you are managing a record on a piece of paper. Soon after, computers were invented. And when computers were invented, organizations started performing all these transactions through a computer software. After that, databases were invented, and they would store all of these records and transactions in a digital format. But now you have to remember that whenever you bring in a new solution, there are new problems that come with it. We were able to address the data confidentiality, integrity, and availability issues. But all of those transactions were still supposed to be performed by a human being, by people. And that introduced a new set of security challenges. Although at the network level, we had levels of security, but we did not feel our transactions were safe, both from external and internal threats. Even today, we consider currency transaction as the most important form of transactions. But there are various other transactions which are valuable. Damages through these other forms of transactions are significant. Did you know that through cybercrime, we will be losing approximately $6 trillion because each of these documents are going to be managed in a digital format. So how do we go ahead and solve this threat of this experience of managing the contracts and documents in a digital format? The answer is blockchain. Now, all of you might have heard about blockchain. I'm going to make an attempt of explaining this blockchain in a layman terms. Blockchain is the solution because it writes data in blocks. And as the name suggests, it is a list of blocks. Now, what does this block have? Data, right? Duh, it's very intuitive. It has a data. So let's imagine, if I'm going to take this one step further. If you are performing a transaction, it cryptographically stores this data in a form of a block, and it adds a hash onto that particular transaction. What you are seeing here on your screen is a simple hash key, which acts as a fingerprint, and it makes this block a highly secure block, which is non-mutable and can be sent across the globe. Now, let me go ahead and explain to you a simple transaction, okay, on how the blockchain will go ahead and perform this simple transaction. Let's say you have a person A who wants to go ahead and send a highly confidential document or some money to person B. You go ahead and take this entire transaction and put it in a block. You add the hash key to it, and then you go ahead and transfer this information to all the parties in the network. What they do is they take and validate this hash key and they approve this transaction. Once this transaction is approved, it is going ahead and it's gone ahead and put into the existing blockchain, which is transparent to everyone, but it cannot be mutated or it cannot be altered. And that's how the transaction is completed, and the person B receives the digital document or the money that you have transferred. Now, you have to understand, if you observe this entire transaction, you will see that there is no third party involved in this entire process. Okay, the transaction which used to take days is now completed in minutes. And even in the banking industry, they are using a blockchain called as RippleNet. And this RippleNet is nothing but a blockchain network that is used by the banks. These solutions, blockchain solutions, are of various different types. RippleNet can be used on different platforms as well and on different technologies. Let's say, for example, you want to go ahead and sell your house. Okay, you go ahead and use RippleNet to go ahead and do a secure transaction. There is no broker involved. There is no lawyer involved. Yoo-hoo! We have saved a lot of money. So, ladies and gentlemen, blockchain is a fully developed technology. It is highly secure. The information recorded is unmutable. No one can change the data, and it can be sent across the globe without being worried of your data being hacked. Now, these are the top 10 blockchain tools that are there out in the industry. They are being used by stock exchange. They are being used by financial institutions. They are being used for digital identification. This is being used by accounting, balancing, many different applications of blockchain. I will tell you something, gentlemen. Blockchain is here to stay. That over the next few years, you're going to find a lot of applications of blockchain across the globe and across different industries. I want to leave you with a set of sites where you can visit and learn more about blockchain. With that, happy learning, and back over to you, Timo.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Yatin. Even I am a blockchain enthusiast, so you could, share those links in the chat as well. I could refer to those.
We'll do that.
Yeah. So now there would be a 30 seconds time gap for all the members to give feedback to the speaker. So you could share your feedback in private to the speaker so he could view in the chat section. Toastmaster Mansi, would we move on then?
Yes, we can.
Then moving on to the next speech. So the next speech would be given by Toastmaster Nitish, who is a member of Baneri Toastmasters Club, and he would be attempting the speech of level 1 and project 2. Now I request the evaluator for the same, Toastmaster Swarangi, to read out the objectives of the speech.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmaster Nitish is giving his level 1 project 2 speech of the dynamic leadership pathway. The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to the second speech. The timing for this speech is 5 to 7 minutes. I wish Toastmaster Nitish all the best for his speech. The title of his speech is A Great Lesson. Over to you, Toastmaster Rahul.
Yeah, thank you so much. So the title of Toastmaster Nitish speech is A Great Lesson. Toastmaster Nitish, a great lesson. A great lesson, Toastmaster Nitish. You could start.
Does anyone like to try something new, different, or never experienced before? Please put a thumbs up. Got it, thank you. But would you consider doing it despite other important priorities? Well, I guess not. Good evening, presiding officer, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Today, I'm going to narrate an incident which took place an year ago, where I got an opportunity to be a host for my school's annual event. This opportunity was given to me by a teacher who had announced for the students to volunteer for it. Initially, I refused, as there were exams coming up in a month. But later on, the teacher herself had approached me and convinced me that it wouldn't take much of my time. All I was expected to do would be to call the chief guest and call the classes which were going to perform and encourage the audience. That's it. After listening to her, it appeared to me that being a host would be a cakewalk. And as it would be a new experience, I had taken up this opportunity. Several days have passed by and there was no talk regarding the event. I had assumed that my friends who were going to host with me, as well as the teachers, are doing their part really well in terms of event activity and management. So I continued with my studies. 2 or 3 days before the show would begin, I got a call late night from a teacher who was demanding me for a script. I was bewildered then. So the next day, in a trice, I had prepared my script, taken the inputs from the teachers, and referred to the agenda. I felt I was well prepared for this event, but things actually went upside down. On the day of the event, I had reached 10 to 15 minutes before the show would even begin. As I was navigating to the stage, there was a huge crowd, which started getting me frightened. Suddenly, a teacher had told me that the show would begin in 5 minutes, and there were major changes in the program. I was bombarded with a new set of instructions, revised program details, and suggestions. What made me more panicked then was that my friends weren't there yet, especially my co-host. Now, with everything on my shoulders, I was at 6th and 7th. Time just went by, and the teacher asked me to begin the show. When I stood in front of the stage, there was a huge crowd making a loud noise. Stage lights just flashed at me. I was blank. I didn't know what to say and how to start. Took a deep breath, simmered down, and began speaking. When I came back, the teacher started pointing out at the mistakes I made. Luckily, later on, my friends joined me. But as we continued the show, there were several mistakes I made, like calling the names of the classes in the wrong order, pronouncing incorrectly, and mumbling most of the time. That day was an embarrassment for me, but the experience was a great learning. What did I learn from this? The first thing I learned was that nothing is easy without proper preparation. To pull out something really well, one has to put in proper preparation, proper practice, communicate and coordinate with his team well in advance. Only then his efforts will, or her efforts will make it successful. The second and the most important lesson I learned was that to do two things at a time is to do neither. Multitasking. It sounds effective. In the modern era, it's a commonplace for people to accomplish multiple tasks at a limited time, trying to be efficient. Though it sounds effective, it reduces your concentration and weakens your focus. Even if you focus on one activity really well, the other will go completely erratic. Therefore, I started focusing on only one activity at a time and learned to say no to something which might sound new or exciting, but I'm not prepared for it. I would like to end my speech with a quote by Sir Alexander Graham Bell. Concentrate your thoughts on the work in hand. Even the sun rays do not burn until you bring them to focus. Thank you very much, and over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Yeah, thank you so much, Toastmaster Nitish. So again, a time of 30 seconds would be given for giving the feedback to the speaker. So you could DM him in the chat. Okay,
30
so
seconds, sir.
yeah, okay. So moving on to the third speaker. So the third speaker would be giving is Toastmaster Siddhant. He is from Toastmasters Club of Pune-West, and he is a third year BBA student awaiting his final semester exam results. He loves to watch cricket, and he is extremely passionate about wanting to get better at public speaking. And the project he would be attempting is of level 1 and project 2. I request the evaluator for the same, Toastmaster Hina. Toastmaster Hina to read out the objectives of the speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to the second speech. The purpose of this speech is also for the member to demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback received from his first speech. Really agog to hear the speech by Toastmaster Siddhant. All the best.
Yeah, thank you so much. The title of Toastmaster Siddhant's speech is Am I Ready? Am I ready, Toastmaster Siddhant? Toastmaster Siddhant, am I ready? Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rahul. Before I begin, To my evaluator, I would just like to say the reason that I'm sitting down is I've sprained my ankle last night and I'm unable to stand, due to which I apologize in advance. Good evening, respected Toastmasters, President Toastmaster, and all the guests present here today. The road to this point was extremely difficult. I had a crippling fear of public speaking, and today I am here to tell you how I'm trying to overcome it. It all started in grade 7. In my school, we had very little in terms of competition, which didn't involve marks. One of those things happened to be the Hindi elocution competition. It was a bright and sunny day when a sweaty little guy came into my classroom and told us that there would be an elocution competition. There would be a Hindi elocution competition, which would be held within 2 weeks of that day. I was extremely overjoyed. I was excited. Just the previous night, I had seen my father, who had gone up on stage in front of 80 different people and had received a thunderous applause, and I was addicted to it. I thought to myself, the next opportunity I get, I am going to get that thunderous applause. So I applied. I went on to audition for the Hindi elocution competition. Considering that I had spoken considering I had spoken Marathi for my whole life, my Hindi was fairly decent, due to which I actually got selected. I got selected to represent my house, which happens to be red actually. I didn't have, unlike Toastmasters, I didn't really have to write a speech on my own. That day, they gave us a speech already prepared. All I had to do was prepare it and present it. I was pumped. I told myself that this is it. This is what I'm going to do to get better at public speaking. And so I went back home, and for 3 days, day and night, I prepared. I missed my tuitions and I missed all of that, and I prepared. So much so that on the day of the first presentation, the first trial run, I was extremely tired. However, I went in with a glistening smile and a heart filled with resolve. I went up and I began to speak. The first bit went extremely smoothly. There were no problems whatsoever. But then, to my dismay, I fumbled. And that fumbling took me down a very, very dark road because I could not get myself back up. The teacher, she was not happy about this. She told me that she ridiculed me and made me feel extremely disgusted with myself. In my opinion, that's where the fear first set in. Not only was I disqualified, but I was shaken to my core. What the teacher said, was that true? Was I really useless? All these thoughts, they crumpled me from the inside. It took me a very, very long time to get over this particular scenario. It was almost 6 years later that I was standing in front of Toastmasters Club of Pune-West, and I gave my first table topic speech. Even though I don't remember what exactly it was, I remember the feeling. I was extremely I was not having a good time, just like I am over here. I fumbled over there too. I could not get my bearings. And then I was done. But I remember the feeling that the Toastmasters community gave me. It made me feel at home and it made me feel okay. It didn't give, and all those thoughts and feelings that I had from my teacher the other day, none of them came up. And I was extremely happy about that. Even after that day, it took me almost a year and a half to actually join the Toastmasters community. In my head, I was never truly ready. And for me, it was about being mentally ready. And even after being thrown into all these situations, I never thought I could do it. But isn't that what we all do? Isn't that what these tough situations teach us? No one was actually ready for the virus, but we were all thrown into it nevertheless. In my opinion, life is all about taking that first step. What Lao Tzu said is in fact correct. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with that one step. But it's that first step that matters. You will never be ready to make 1,000-mile journey on foot, but it is that first step. The feedback I receive from all of you today will help me be a better speaker, and that is what it is all about. So to the guests present here, I speak to you. I urge you to actually join this community. It was one of the most beautiful and one of the best communities that I have been part of. And there is so much to learn, and there is so many things that you learn from all the experienced people over here. And honestly, isn't that what we really do best? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Siddhant. So instead of giving 30 seconds for the feedback, so you could, while the next speaker is speaking, you could give the feedback simultaneously. So moving on to the next speaker. The next speaker is Toastmaster Indrajit from Toastmasters Club of Pune-West. He is a pharmacist by profession, and his I'll be there for you moment was when in his college days, a professor falsely accused his friend of using his phone during the lectures. He supported his friend, he stood by him and told the teacher that her accusations were baseless and that he wasn't using his phone. The teacher believed in him, and his friend did not face any consequences. So the speaker would be attempting a speech of level 1 and project 3. And the evaluator for the same is Toastmaster Jitin from Baner Toastmasters Club. I request Toastmaster Jitin to read out the objectives of the speech.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So the purpose of the speech today for the speaker is for the member to learn or review the basic research methods and present a well-organized and well-researched speech on any topic. So I believe Toastmaster Indrajit would have spent a lot of time in researching, and as audience, we are so much excited to be part of your research. For the timing sequence will be 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much. The title of Toastmaster Indrajit's speech is Operation Mincemeat. Operation Mincemeat, Toastmaster Indrajit. Toastmaster Indrajit, Operation Mincemeat. Over to you.
Thank you. Can I just share my screen?
Yeah, you could.
Is it visible?
Yeah, now it's visible.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'll start. Am I audible? Okay. So, yes, okay. The year was 1943, and the Second World War was still undecided. The huge chunk of Europe was still under the control of Hitler, and the Allied forces knew if they had to topple this Nazi regime, they had to breach this fortress. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, this is the story of the greatest espionage operation during the Second World War. The then British Prime Minister, Sir Winston Churchill, knew that if he had to take the control of the proceedings of the war, the Allied forces would have to attack somewhere what he called the Europe's soft underbelly. Not just Churchill, but the Japanese, the Greeks, and even the Nazis knew that if an attack came from the Allies, it would be somewhere in this area where the Allies would attack. Now, this might seem like a large chunk of area, but actually, there were very few points through which the Allies could attack. Those were Sardinia, Sicily, and Greece. In 1943 January, the leaders of the Allies met in Morocco for the Casablanca Conference and decided Sicily it would be. The foundations of the most significant operations in war history were laid by the director of the Naval British Intelligence, Sir John Godfrey, who distributed what was called a Trout Memo, which was written by his assistant, Lieutenant Commander Ian Fleming. Now, does Ian Fleming ring any bells? Well,
James Bond?
Yes, correct. This guy went on to write one of the most celebrated characters in fiction, that is James Bond. Coming back to Trout Memo, the Trout Memo had 51 ways in which you could deceive an enemy. And number 28 was a rather peculiar one. Sir Ian Fleming titled it The Suggestion, and in the parenthesis, not a very nice one. Now, why wasn't it a very nice suggestion? We'll soon find out. A committee, the 20 committee, which was stylized as the XX committee, was set up to plan out the whole operation meticulously. And as it is said, it takes two to tango. Evan Montagu and Charles Chumley were the two guys who were planted to lead this operation. Now, this was wartime. There was no shortage of dead bodies, and this operation needed a dead body. So these two gentlemen, along with Sir Bentley Purchase, who was coroner of the North London Cemetery at that time, set out to find a dead body which this specific operation needed. Because this specific operation needed a fresh dead body. Finally, on the 28th of January, Sir Bentley Purchase contacted Montagu and told him that he had found a perfect dead body. The dead body, the corpse, was of a 34-year-old homeless man named Glinder Michael. Now, Glinder Michael had accidentally killed himself by ingesting rat poison along with some bread. They gave him a name. After zeroing down on this body, they set their imaginations to work. They gave him a name. They called him Major William Martin. They also gave him a rank. They said he was the captain and acting major. To decide a photo for this guy, they took the photos of the corpse, but it ended up looking like a dead man, obviously. So Montagu scoured London for a look-alike and eventually found a fellow British naval officer who was the spitting image of William Martin. With that said, Montagu and Chumley decided to plant things on his body to legitimize the body itself, to fool the British, to fool the Nazis. And they started creating a backstory which was so realistic that even the Nazis fell for it. They planted stamps, theater tickets, pencil stubs, cigarettes, skis, an overdue letter from the bank on his body. And to make it super realistic, they even kept a photo of Jean Leslie, a woman from the British intelligence in his pockets, who posed as his fake fiancée. A second woman also wrote some personal letters to him, which were planted on him. They gave him a Saint Christopher's cross, which is a cross which implies that this guy was a Roman Catholic, and no autopsy would be performed on him. And Chumley, who led this operation, even wore his eventual clothes, William Martin's clothes, just to give it the worn-in look. But the most important piece of document on this guy was the letter which was planted on him. This was written by two high-ranking officers of the Allied forces, Sir Archibald Nye and Sir Harold Alexander. Archibald Nye wrote a fake personal letter to Harold Alexander in which he subtly mentioned, "We are going to strike through Greece, but we are also going to tell everyone that Sicily is the cover." Now, this was a stroke of genius. Because this was no official document and a personal letter, the Nazis would fall for it, thinking that the attack would definitely come from Greece. Plus, they placed an eyelash in the folds of the letter. Now, they would know if the letter had been opened depending on whether the eyelash was present or not. If the eyelash was present, then the letter had definitely not been opened by the Nazis. They carefully kept General Major Martin's body with his briefcase with the letter in a metal canister and gave it to a submarine commander, the only person on the submarine who knew what was inside the canister. The rest of the people thought it was some top secret meteorological instrument. The submarine dropped off the corpse on the coast of Spain, near the coast of Spain. And finally, on 30th April 1943, a fisherman near the Huelva coast of Spain noticed this body. Now, the Spanish were ostensibly a neutral force in this war, but they had sympathies with the Nazis. They did hand over the components of the briefcase to the Nazis and copied the letter, which worked its way straight up the chain of the Nazis and landed in the hands of this man, Adolf Hitler. Now, Hitler was so convinced that the Allies would attack Greece that he moved his Panzer division from Sicily to Greece. This was about 90,000 troops which he moved from Sicily to Greece. Up came the Allies through Sicily with a strong force of 160,000 troops and faced way less resistance than anticipated. The Allies took over Europe, and the brainchild of the creator of James Bond and the meticulous planning by a couple of corkscrew thinkers completely changed the face of the war. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Indrajit. You could stop sharing.
Yes.
Okay, so you could give the feedback for Toastmaster Indrajit as well. As Toastmaster Mansia shared the timing, so I think most of all of them are qualified. So yeah, the voting process could be started. Toastmaster Mansi, the polling would be done by you, right? Yeah.
Yeah, since I'm the host, I can't actually vote.
You can DM me your vote.
You can actually remove him from the host now, I believe. Mansi.
Yes, I'll do that. I need 4 more votes. So who has not voted, please vote. Your votes could change the result.
Also DM'd you, by the way.
Okay, I'm closing the poll now. Toastmaster up.
Yeah, so I could continue. Hello.
Yes, you can continue.
Okay. Now moving on with the discussion of the theme. So the theme was decided from the title song of the sitcom Friends, which as most of the young generation would be knowing. So this the idea of the song revolves around how each character is a trustful support for each other during the entire show. I believe that this idea should be for each one of us. We should be a trustful support for every other person who has been a part of our life, who needs our support, who needs our help. Keeping this thought in our mind, doctors work day and night to make sure that their patients are doing well. Policemen work day and night hard to make sure that all this the cities are safe. Army men work at the borders, even in freezes and chills. It's never too late to start acting wise. We could while entering a supermarket, we could we could keep the door open for the person who is entering after us. We could say thank you to the maids and the cleaners who risked their lives for us even during the pandemic, and they showed up for their duties. Even for the people who are with whom we don't interact much. Like sometimes we don't interact with our neighbors, so we could invite them over for a cup of tea or a coffee and have a nice good chat with them. We could expand our circle with genuinely good people, and as we would gain their blessings in the future. We should make them. We should we should give them their assurance that we'll always be there for them. And yeah, with their blessings in the future, they would be there for us too. It's a matter of mutual trust in the end. As the former US President Ronald Reagan said, everyone can't help everyone else in their lives, but everyone can help someone. In a way, everyone gets helped in the end. So, yeah, so before we move on to the discussion of this theme further, let us now move on to the debate session, which will be moderated by me and four speakers. That is Toastmaster Ashutosh, Swapnil, Toastmaster Nishant, and Toastmaster Jitin. So these four would be participating in the debate. The topic, Toastmaster Mansi, could you please, what I don't know actually what is the topic. So could you please tell?
The topic of the debate is that 6-year-old children shouldn't be taught coding. 6-year-old children shouldn't be taught coding.
Yeah, okay. So that, as Toastmaster Mansi said, that's the topic of the debate. The participating teams from TMCP West are Toastmaster Ashutosh and Toastmaster Swapnil, who would be speaking in favor of the motion, and Toastmaster Nishant and Toastmaster Jitin from BTMC would be speaking against the motion. Now the structure is like every member from the team will present a constructive speeches of 4 minutes each. After the speeches are done, we will have a 2 minutes break. After that, we will have a cross-examination and refutation session in which every participant will be given a time of 2 minutes. Now, I would like to call Toastmaster Ashutosh Jha, who is the affirmative for his constructive speech. So, Toastmaster Ashutosh, over to you.
Thank you. The affirmative team will be arguing why 6-year-old children should not be taught coding. Before that, I would like to define what is coding. Nowadays, everything from our morning alarm to automated cars to our home appliances can be computer aided. None of these would have been possible without computers. And the language that runs them is known as coding. Coding helps us to feed our command in computer in the language that the computer understands. Affirmative team will argue why we must not teach this to a 6-year-old child. The first point I would like to keep is that screen timing. As per the American Academy of Pediatricians, children must not watch screens more than 2 hours, as it is not good for their eyes. Coding is not something we can do on notebooks. We need laptop or computer or the screen timing to practice it. And as we know that it damages our children's eyes, which is proved in the research, so it is not at all a nice idea to have them thought about this. The next point I would like to tell is technological changes. Many experts speaking at the World Innovation Summit for Education in Paris said that teaching kids coding is not worth it because by the time kids grows up, coding might become obsolete and computers might do directly what we want them to do. So we are not we are not sure about that if it will be useful what we learn now. And the next point I would like to tell is there are so many important skills that a child has to learn at this tender age. If they spend time doing all those things, then they might lose upon learning those skills which are really needed at this tender age. They have to learn how to speak, how to talk, how to do anything. It's a very important age to learn them. We cannot expect them to do so much of high level of things which is required in coding. So I would like to tell that these are the main things which makes it really not advisable to learn coding for such a 6-year-old child. And the next and the other thing I want to say is that we cannot really teach them all those things at this age. So I would like to summarize that I don't find it useful to learn at this age. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashutosh. Now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Nishant, who would be speaking against the motion.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'll be speaking against the motion that is 6-year-olds should be taught coding. Now I have a question for you, all of you. All of us are doing Toastmasters or working for an MNC or any company online from home. 15 years back, wouldn't have been possible. This was something that was unimaginable for people. Why is it possible? This became possible because of our English word called technology. Now imagine you are a 6-year-old guy or anyone who's entering the business world 15 years down the line. The kind of sophisticated and advanced level of technology you will face in the business will definitely overwhelm you. But if you have learned coding and you're exposed to these technologies since the age of 6, a continual exposure to this technology will make sure that you don't get overwhelmed and you're well equipped to enter the business. Now, since we're talking about businesses are part of economies, and economy has a term called economic boom. In past 150 years, world witnessed 3 major economic booms, and people made a lot of money out of those economic booms. The first was your oil boom, where people rushed towards Middle East to make money out of those oil companies. Second was called mortgage-backed securities boom, that made sure that people rushed towards investment banks to make money. And third boom was technology boom, and people started rushing towards all the tech companies to make money and make a life for themselves. But what sets apart this technology boom from other 2 booms is that technology became something that could cut across all the businesses in the world. And technology became an intricate part of each and every industry in the world. Imagine now you are a 6-year-old who has been exposed to technology, has learned coding, has a platform for learning technology, and you go on ahead to master the technology. Once you do it, you will make sure that you are equipped to enter any industry without a doubt, because every industry will work on technology. There's no doubt about it. Now, since we are talking about a lot of technology and businesses, there is a word that is associated with it, and that is called failure. Now tell me, when it comes to programming, coding, and technology, machines, everything fails. But you get 2 sets of people when failure takes place in technology world. A set of people who stand up again and start working towards it and rectify that failure. or the other set of people who just get demotivated. But there is a kid who is 6-year-old and who has learned coding and has failed a lot of times while writing that code. And because of that continuous failure, he has become immune to that failure, so that when he gets into the business world and fails, he knows how to stand up and rectify that failure and become a success. To summarize, I would say the three main reasons the children should learn coding is what I call DWI. That is, D stands for you don't get overwhelmed when you enter the business domain. W stands for you are well equipped to enter any industry in the world without a single doubt. And third is immunity to failure. And when all these DWI is something that has been part of you, I'm pretty sure that you will be well equipped and successful in the business world. And that is the reason I feel that children should be taught coding so that they become a success. Over to you, Toastmaster Rahul.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nishant. Now I would like to call upon Toastmaster Swapnil, and he would be speaking in favor of the motion.
Before you start the time, I want to ask, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you. You may start the time. I would be speaking why coding should not be taught to a 6-year-old children. Coding is a programming language which requires an elevated knowledge of maths and computer. And most importantly, you should be clear with basics. 6 year means you are in first or second standard, I believe. This is the age when you're still learning counting, addition, and subtraction. Now just imagine if you are not clear with your basics, or if you are just still working with your basics, it would be very difficult to get the advanced knowledge of coding. For example, algorithm. Algorithm is one subject of coding. If you're not an expertise in mathematics, it would be very difficult to learn coding, learn algorithm. If I don't know how to do addition and subtraction, it would be very difficult for me to learn coding. And computer is not the subject which most of the educational institutions teach at this age. In addition to that, this subject requires a lot of technical knowledge. There are so many concepts which you need to be clear about. There are certain skills which the children need to have in order to learn coding very easily. For example, there are certain technical terms like augmented reality, camel case, for loops, Linux, Jupyter Notebook, neural networks. I don't think that it would be that children at this age will have capacity to learn all these things in detail. I believe that the children should learn something. Children should first be clear with their basics, and step by step in future they should start learning something which is of advanced level. For example, coding. If you're planning to take mechanical engineer in future, anyways, you're going to learn all these things from scratch. So there is no need to unnecessarily pressurize yourself at such a young age in order to learn something which you are going to learn easily and more efficiently in future rather than now. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Swapnil. Now, to conclude, just a moment. Toastmaster Jithin from BTMC, he will be speaking against the motion.
Okay. I would like to share my screen as well while I go for my speech. Can you please allow me to share my screen? Yeah. Okay. I believe I am properly audible and visible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. So timer, I would like to start now. Good afternoon, everyone. So every one of us are aware about the evolutionary theory given by Charles Darwin. But how many of us are aware about the evolution, what is happening with our brains? we all know that the monkey started walking on his 2 feet, and as the age progressed, he became more and more independent. But along with the man what is walking here, his brain is also evolving with the age. Gone are those days in which people are so the computer or the coding seems to be so sophisticated, it becomes a natural way of learning in every day. The historic teachings were more based on Vedas and Puranas in the olden times, and maybe some kind of martial arts like learning the skills of bow and arrow or any other forms of martial arts. But as the education system also progressed with time, then came that era of science and technology along with the industrial evolution what happened in Europe in mid 1900s. As a after of that, with the education system came the education patterns of physics, chemistry, and biology, and all other science terms. Now the time wheel had made another turn on its pivot, and now it's not the time to learn only biology or chemistry or other fields of science in the topic. But as we move on, or as we gradually move ahead with the competition what we have in the market, or with the creativity what the students should master in the early days, the coding had become a basic essential for everyone. I was very curious when I learned about this story when a small girl called as Brinda, she created her own codings for informing the traffic police about the arrival of an ambulance, so that the traffic police can clear the way out of this. I was so envious to see this, because even the small girl what we can see in the picture could do this. And to be very frank, I am not even very good enough to do any kind of something very near to this. So these are some of the facts, and why the coding has to begin at the early age. As the statistics show here, the creativity, the graph what we can see here is basically the creative levels of people based upon their ages. Now, if we see the creativity levels of the students or the children are really very high below the age of 5, keep on reducing with age. So if you ask me, the best age when somebody should invest in learning creative things, whether it be coding or any other sort of creative things, it should be at the very early age, at least before the 10th age. Okay. Now, what are the other areas or what advantages the coding can bring to your life? So what basically the kids will learn here is they will understand, or they will master the skill of doing or bringing about a logic in their activities. They learn the sequence or to structure their thoughts. Also, they develop their creative thinking, the sequence their thought, how we explain in the table topic session, we sequence or structure our thoughts. So all these small things what the students learn in their early days are contributing in one way or another into all fields of their work, especially during their education, not only for the coding. In my opinion, to summarize, the coding will help them in multiple angles, both in their education as well as in their career going forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jitin. Now we will have a break of 2 minutes, and after that we will have a cross-examination and a refutation session in which every participant will be given a time of 2 minutes. So the team which is speaking against the topic will start, and it would be concluded by the team who would be speaking in favor of the topic.
Do we have any guests who have joined in late? We could take their introductions right now. 2 minutes are up, Toastmaster Rahul.
Yeah, so just a moment. So beginning with the with the cross examination and refutation session. So we'll begin with Toastmaster Nishant. Yeah, Toastmaster Nishant. You could.
I just have a question, like how to go about it in the cross examination.
Toastmaster Mansi. Actually,
You
even
will
I was.
question the points put forward by the opposition. Basically.
Nishant, like whatever arguments were being put up by the affirmative team,
Yeah.
you can use these 2 minutes to counter them and strengthen your position.
Okay. Thank you.
And 2 minutes should be given for this.
Yeah. So first, I would like to question the point which was raised, that was said that computers would be doing the task of coding in the future. Now I have to ask you this. There was a time in the banking industry when it was said that automated teller machines would put tellers in the bank out of the job. And basically it will like make the need of tellers completely to zero. But what happened was it was completely opposite. All of a sudden, people started hiring more people to conduct the jobs. So what I feel is, if machines would start doing the coding, there would be a set of people required with a skill set to deal with those machines. So I feel that instead of saying that coding might go out of the job completely, it would instead make coding and programmers more involved, and they will employ more jobs so that they can deal with those machines which are doing the job for them. So that is one of the points that I felt was, you can say, contradicting with the idea that I have. Then it was the point of, you said it is very hard for toddlers to deal with the complicated stuff you have. Now, if someone is teaching you coding, they will make sure they simplify it for you so that you can comprehend what is going on. Now, when I was in 8th standard, I didn't know what is law of supply, law of demand. But the students, the curriculum and the teachers designed the course in such a way that it was simplified enough for me to comprehend that what is law of demand, what is law of supply. So who is teaching this system of coding and overall the discipline of coding, they'll make sure they simplify it for the toddlers so that they can understand what is going on. For that, there's this school in UK. It is affiliated with the Oxford University, where they teach you the basic idea of logical thinking and then gradually take you towards the whole idea of coding. So these are the points, and this was my end of cross examination. Over to you, Toastmaster Rahul.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Nishant. Now I'll invite upon Toastmaster Ashutosh for the same. 2 minutes would be given.
Thank you. As you said that that they will be expert if they learn at such young age. But what I think is that if they learn those things at such young age, they won't be able to explore so many things they can do in their life, right? But if we teach them, no, you have to go in this direction only, so they might not be able to explore that what exactly they have to do in their life, and they might be in a mess. And the next point you said that there is a boom in the IT industry. Yes, I totally agree with you. It is there, but see, booms does not last long. Even you gave the example of some of the booms. Even we can see that even those have not lasted for so long. So how we can predict now that it is going to be forever? We don't know what is going to happen. So it is not really a nice idea to teach the kids coding at such a young age. It might not be useful. Like they may feel that I have wasted my time. So these were the points I wanted to highlight. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Ashutosh. Now I would like to invite upon Toastmaster Jitin to if he to present his points.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. So I would like to start with to counter one of the points what was raised, my dear friend, that learning coding at an early age will prevent the children or the toddlers from exploring other things in life. I don't think that would be a fact, because as children, as kids, we were learned many things in our life, like addition, subtraction, or any other things, but it never prevented us from learning a song or going out and playing football or any kind of things. So it doesn't mean that, okay, if you are learning a coding, that is just one part of your life. It doesn't mean that you are spending the entire day sitting in front of the computer and do the coding all the day. Of course, along with like how Vishwanathan Anand used to tell, the mental exercise is more important in terms of in terms of balancing between the healthy physical life. So it's just one part of life. And in terms of IT booms, so I would like to mention to my friends that, okay, the way you learn coding, it should be learned in such a way that you are just mastering a skill or a creative skill. You are just adding a creative skill into your pocket. You are not just learning the coding, seeing that, okay, at the age of 20, I will get placed by an IT company. That is not the concept. It's just for fun. People learn coding. Like tomorrow, I don't know if my kids will sit at my home and they just operate the lighting system at my home. He will just switch off the fans, just sitting just with a computer. He will design his own Alexa at my home. So that is the world. That is the way the world is moving on. And the only thing what we can do here is to support them and to enhance them the skills what they should be doing at that age. Now, to all my friends who think coding is a very difficult thing to learn, I would say that it was either you couldn't get an opportunity to learn coding, or it could be that you are too old to learn coding at your creative times. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jitin. Now, to conclude, I would like to invite upon Toastmaster Swapnil.
So before you start the time, I had a question. So we can counterattack any of the two negatives, right? The opponent speaker's points, or or a specified speaker's points.
Yes, Swapnil.
Any.
No, you can go after like anyone. So it's a team, so you can counter.
Okay, so I would like to I would like to counter against the point that you can simplify the concepts. So let me tell you one thing: when it comes to subjects like programming, science, or mathematics, you cannot simplify anything. There, you need to be aware about certain basics. For example, if I tell a 6-year-old child if I start teaching a 6-year-old child algorithm, and even if I try to simplify it in his own words, first thing he should know he should know the basics of addition, subtraction. Second, there are certain algebraic concepts which are used in this, so he should have the knowledge of algebra. If I without all this, if he does not have this specific kind of a knowledge, it would be very difficult to learn coding. Then there are certain technical terms. As I said, you cannot simplify the technical terms. These there is a certain language, certain definition which has to be used, because this is all these are all universal concepts. So you cannot recreate these concepts in your own words and try to simplify to the kids. The kids need to utilize that particular language only when you are studying that. For example, Python, you cannot simplify the definitions of Python or concept in your own words. There is a certain language, you need to understand that language, and for that it requires lot of hard work, dedication, and analyzation, which I don't think the children at this age are capable of learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Swapnil. So now we come to an end of the debate session. It was indeed a fruitful and effective debate with really good points put forward by both the for and the against parts of the team, against teams. And yeah, we got to know several other aspects to the same, emotion. So moving on, so now I'd like to give control to the general evaluator, Toastmaster Parijat, who would be, conducting the rest of the meeting. Over to you.
हर एक फ्रेंड जरूरी होता है. Remember that Airtel jingle? So like that, every friend is important in our life. Who can tell us that I am there for you? Similarly, when we are in Toastmasters, every speaker looks to an evaluator so that the two can tango. So welcome to this evaluation session, and I will begin with the speech evaluations first. We had 4 brilliant speeches today. The speech evaluation, the timing sequence is 2 to 3 minutes. So 2 for green, 2 minutes 30 seconds for yellow, 3 minutes for red, and then there is a 30-second grace, as we always have in most of our speeches. So let me now invite our first evaluator. He's someone who kind of moves around across clubs and is a very active Toastmaster who loves book reading and is an engineer with Mahindra. So let's welcome Toastmaster Puneet to evaluate the speech given by Toastmaster Yatin.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Am I audible? Thanks a lot. Thank you for nodding. In this world, which is full of in this world where we are constantly bombarded with marketing messages, spam calls, and fraudulent transactions, out comes a speech which enlightens and informs each and every one of us. Toastmaster Yatin, the 3 things which I really enjoyed in your speech were the visual aids. They were legible, clear, and more importantly, they complemented what you said. In fact, I love the way in which you were the person who were dominating throughout, and you never your slides to overshadow, which is the most important part for any speaker. Otherwise, our attention would have been distracted more towards the slide. Having said that, it was clear, logical, legible, and I really enjoyed looking at the slide. Although they were 11 in numbers, I took screenshot of it because I learned a lot from those slides as well. Number 2, problem solution approach, which is the best part of your speech. Now, this because for any problem solution speech, you need to answer the 3 most important questions, which is what, so what, now what represents the situation, so what represents complication, now what represents the resolution. And in your speech, you talked about the transactions, how insecure we are in today's world, wherein we are bombarded with fraudulent transactions, cyber security is at its threat, and there are so many illegal things which are happening. And I love the way in which you gave blockchain as the solution, as the for the problem. They say when you stop at complication, you are a problem finder. But when you give a resolution, you are a promotable problem solver. I love the way in which you gave analogies of banking and even transaction involving home as well, which I loved it. Last but not the least, breaking the 4th wall. And this was the icing on the cake. And it becomes very much important in the online world. I felt as if you were conversing directly. The way you were looking at the lens, the way you had hand gestures, cryptography, money, and even the tone. Yippee, no third party. I enjoyed each and every moment of it. Now in Toastmasters, we come to improve. And this is how I'll be giving you my recommendation in blocks of 3, which is number 1, which I found was you could have made your opening much more impactful by usage of pauses. I like the way in which you attempted to ask questions. However, pauses would have added beauty to your speech. And there is a 3-second rule of pause, which would have definitely impacted your speech as well. Let me demonstrate it for you. You asked us 3 questions. When you send a formal document, who secures it for you? How many transactions you perform on daily basis? What it would have done is it would have made me curious and would have known, okay, what exactly Yatin is trying to communicate. It would have made me curious, and in that process, it would have made your speech much more memorable. Number two, choice of words. 1/3 of our audience in this call are women. When you said, I'll tell you something, gentlemen, I would have really wished if you had said Toastmasters, because there are 9 participants in this call who are women. And last but not the least, I would have really loved if you had given sources. You said 6 trillion cybercrime damages by 2021. Adding source would have definitely add credibility to your speech. In summary, love the visual aids, problem solution approach, breaking the fourth wall, wherein you complemented with gestures and eye contact and even tone. Work on improving, making your speech much more memorable by inculcating pauses, choice of words, and more importantly, citing sources to make your speech much more memorable. Back to you, Yatin. Oh, sorry, general evaluator. Parijit, over to you. I'm really sorry. Yeah, Parijit, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Puneet, for such a detailed evaluation. Now we move on to the second evaluator, and that's someone who is a dog lover, a chartered accountancy student, a bookworm, and an optimist, and who recently helped a friend in her academic commitments, where she stood for her and helped her come out with much more stronger emotional support. That's Toastmaster Swarangi for you. So Toastmaster Swarangi will be evaluating the speech given by Toastmaster Nitish. Over to you, Swarangi.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. To do 2 things at once is to do neither. That was a major takeaway for me from Toastmaster Nitish's speech. Thank you for sharing such a personal and heartfelt experience. The speaker began with a question to the audience. Does anyone like to try something new? Being in Toastmasters, all of us are always trying to move out of our comfort zones, and that was really relatable to me, and I'm sure it was to all of everyone else too. The way he narrated his story, his experiences, and then mentioned what his learnings were from the incident in a point-wise manner. That was a very well-structured speech. He illustrated in instances with gestures, like upside down or 5 minutes. That really kept me as a listener engaged to what the speaker wanted to tell me. He illustrated how nervous he was during his speech and during his school experience, and that just made me understand how he must have been feeling at that moment. Something I would have loved to see was more illustrative and energetic gestures. For just to give an example, the stage lights came on. A little more expression starts getting me engaged to what the speaker is saying. He also kept on, did mention sometimes what he is going to say next. Example, today I'm going to narrate an incident. Or I would like to end the speech with a quote. Instead of this, the speaker can just start the story or just mention the quote. That gives a smooth transitioning to the speech. The whole speech was filled with rich words, and Toastmaster Nitish is indeed a craftsman with words. The way he was telling his story, I was left agog to hear more. And it just ended with 5 minutes, just more than 5 minutes, and I felt sad. I really wanted to listen more. So to sum it up, work on the energetic gestures and a smooth transitioning of the speech. But keep up the audience engaging questions, keep up the confidence, and keep up the immaculately structured speech. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster Parijat.
Thank you, Swarangi. Now we move on to the third evaluator, and that's someone who's very charming, very bubbly, and she is going to evaluate the speech given by Toastmaster Siddhant. So let me invite Toastmaster Hina onto the virtual stage.
Hello, am I visible and audible?
You are.
Okay, thank you so much. Congratulations, Toastmaster Siddhant, on delivering this very personal speech. I am glad that you took your next step in this journey of 1,000 miles, and it takes courage to do that. Fellow Toastmasters, I am sure you all can relate very much to the story shared by Toastmaster Siddhant in some way or the other. Your journey, Toastmaster Siddhant, from being shaken from the fear of the Hindi elocution competition has led you to this virtual stage of giving an amazing speech. So congratulations on that once again. And what's more is that now you act as an inspiration for the fellow Toastmasters and future Toastmasters. So great. As I heard your speech that on a bright sunny day when you were excited to take part in the Hindi elocution competition, I would like to recommend you that you express the energy and emotions by pausing using facial expressions and hand gestures. Example, that on a bright sunny day, I was excited and overjoyed to take part in the Hindi elocution competition because you had seen your father receive a thunderous applause the other night. Also, that you could wear a smile and show that you are feeling the same. You can also depict these emotions using hand gestures. Smile because it can take you miles. Your long pause before the first table topic speech is when I connected with your speech the most, because I remember the time I gave my first table topic speech as a guest. It was very scary and I could relate to you the most at that time. And this expressed your fear and vulnerability, which connected very much to the audience. So, to summarize, job well done on the structure, storytelling, and the connection with the audience. And also the fact that you related your speech and came down to talking about the pandemic, that you have to take your first step. So, the message was very clear. So, thank you for that. So, while working on my recommendation of wearing a smile, giving emphasis on vocal tone, energy, and hand movements can take you to the next level and strike back again with your next speech. So, to the audience, I would like to ask yourself that, are you ready to take your first step? Are you ready to change? Well, you will find the answer right in the question itself. Am I ready? I am ready. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hina. I'm sure with your evaluation, Toastmaster Siddhant will be much more ready with his next speech. Now we move on to the last speech evaluation, and that's going to be for the speech given by Toastmaster Indrajit on Operation Mincemeat. And to assess that, we have Toastmaster Jitin from Bahrain Toastmasters Club, who will be evaluating the speech. Over to you, Jitin.
Can I confirm if I am properly visible and audible to everyone?
You are, Jitin.
Yeah, thank you. A warm good evening to all Toastmasters and dear guests. Let me start with congratulating my target speaker, Toastmaster Indrajit, for his great choice of topic. I would like to give him a Hitler salute on this occasion of Diwali. Thank you for taking us through the back to our high school days, in which I remember I was surfing through the main camp when Hitler was my biggest icon, when I used to read any kind of articles where Hitler used to be there. And I should agree that you had very good use of the visuals. I saw it was a really very different way in which you did your presentations from the usual or the conventional slides or through the pictures. You did your visuals in a different, in the kind of a map format in which you could zoom and zoom out, and it really created a new trend here. You had enough interactions, you tried for your attempt to ask questions, and I would really appreciate your interactions with the crowd. And the information, that is what this speech objective was also for, to give a research on a topic and the information what you shared was really very enlightening. Now, as my boss says, any kind of evaluation is not an evaluation unless it have improvements in it. Sometimes I could feel that there were some kind of staggered piece of information in your speech where I could find it difficult to get a connection between some of the topics. Maybe it was because of the zoom in and zoom outs that could not give a complete flow of the entire picture about your topic, that was Operation Mincemeat. In terms of pauses, I could see that there were pauses in between, but there were lack of expressions along with your pauses. For example, when you introduced Hitler, maybe you could have used some terms like, okay, Hitler, or you can also show the symbols of Hitler, how he's popularly known. So this would create the attention or drag the attention of audience towards you. Also, I would also mention that the ending was also a little blunt because there was no proper summary in which you ended up in a very kind note. Now, in terms of the objectives of the speech, the objective was to do a research on a very good topic, which you had done a very good research on a very well-known and a popular topic, and you had presented really very well. But usually when you select a topic for a research topic, it used to be something what you are passionate about. But somewhere in point of time, that energy was missing in your speech or in your delivery. But obviously, it was a great step towards your Toastmasters journey. And if you could incorporate few comments and recommendations from my side, I think you will go to a different level. Over to you, General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jitin. Hail to you. Now, let me switch over to the tag report, and let me request our timer, Toastmaster Manasi, to help me with the timer's report for speech evaluations.
Yes, thank you, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Puneet took 3 minutes 32 seconds. Therefore, he has not qualified. All other evaluators have qualified.
Thank you very much. May I now request you to launch the poll as well for the best evaluator for the day?
Yes, give me a minute.
Sure. So, audience, may I request you not to vote for Toastmaster Puneet, as Toastmaster Mansi confirmed that he overshot the time. You can vote for any other evaluator. While you vote for the best evaluator, may I move on to the next one in the tag team, and that's...
I need 6 more votes.
Sure. Yeah. So please go ahead and vote.
Please vote.
We need most votes because your votes will decide who did the best in terms of evaluation. So may I now request our A of our counter, Toastmaster Vinod, to come over and share his report about our R's and Ums and be the friend in need for us in our journey of public speaking.
Okay, thank you, General Evaluator. So I will present my report on the R counter, basically that the crutch sound, filler sounds, and the overlong pauses. So I'll start with the speaker. We used the less than 5 crutch sound, filler words, and the pauses. So Toastmaster Rahul, since you are a TMOD today, you are a lot to speak. You use the more than 5 crutch sound and more than 10 filler words and the less than 5 overlong pauses. Toastmaster Anvay uses the less than 5 crutch sound and the less than 5 filler words and the less than 5 overlong pauses. Toastmaster Puneet is a flawless speaker and uses any crutch sound and the filler words. Toastmaster Yatin uses the less than 5 crutch sound and the less than 5 filler words and the less than 5 overlong pauses. Toastmaster Nitish uses again the less than 5 crutch sound less than 5 filler words, and no overlong pauses. Toastmaster Hina uses more than 5 crest sound, less than 5 filler words, and the no pauses. Toastmaster Siddhant, again, uses the less than 5 crest sound and less than 5 filler words, and there are more than 5 overlong pauses. Toastmaster Indrajit uses the less than 5 filler words, less than 5 crest sound, and less than 5 overlong pauses. Toastmaster Jatin, since playing multiple role, you uses the more than 5 times crest sound and filler words more than 5, but not longer pauses in your speech. Toastmaster Nishant is a flawless speaker, not uses any crest sound, any filler sounds, and no pauses in his speech. Toastmaster Ashutosh uses more than 10 crest sound, more than 5 filler words, and less than 5 longer or long pauses. Toastmaster Swapnil again uses the less than 5 crest sound, less than 5 filler words, and less than 5 or long pauses. Toastmaster Swarangi uses the less than 5 crest sound, less than 5 filler words, and no overlong pauses. So this is all about the counter report. What you generally evaluate.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Vinod, for our counter report. Now we move on to the last report, and that's for the G in the tag team, and that's grammarian or the language evaluator, and that's Toastmaster Anvay.
Yes, thank you so much, G. Now I will share my screen. So is my screen visible
Yes.
to everyone?
Yes, it is. You can just maximize, do it
Yeah,
in
okay.
slideshow.
Yeah, so the word of the day was used by Toastmaster Parijat Garg 2 times, Toastmaster Rahul Tangsali, Toastmaster Hina, and Toastmaster Swarangi once. The idiom of the day was used by Toastmaster Parijat 2 times and Toastmaster Indrajit once. So now the good usage of the English language. Toastmaster Parijat used the phrase self-driven. Toastmaster Rahul Tangsali used thick and thin, means supporting someone through dark and happy times, means, and then he used the phrase darkest time, token of gratitude, expanding our circle, and fruitful. Toastmaster Yatin Sangvi used secure and safe. Millennials. Millennials means the age group between 1980 to 1996. So that age group is called millennials. Layman and across the globe. Toastmaster Nitish used cakewalk, upside down, sixes and sevens. Sixes and sevens means in confusion. Toastmaster Siddhant Apte used crippling fear, thunderous applause, glistening smile, and taking that first step, means starting the journey towards your dream or something. Toastmaster Indrajit used ring any bell, stroke of genius, and meticulous. Toastmaster Ashutosh Jha used computer aided. Toastmaster Nishant used down the line, economic boom, and toddlers. Toddlers means someone who doesn't know how to walk, means he is in very first step in his passion, means. Toastmaster Swapnil used expertise. Toastmaster Jithin used pivot. So as we know pivot, so according to our theme, I guess everyone know what pivot means. Envious, enlightening, and blunt. Toastmaster Puneet used overshadow, impactful, and inculcating. Toastmaster Swarangi used take away, artful, and craftsman with words. Craftsman with words means he used rich words in his speech. Toastmaster Ina used journey of 1,000 miles, vulnerability, and emphasis. So now Moving to not so good usage of the English language. Someone used team sports. It is team sport. With private, it can be in private. An year ago, it should be a year ago. Very little in terms of competition. It can be very little competition. Someone used given by Charles Darwin. It can be proposed by Charles Darwin. It can also be given by, but proposed by sounds more good. Natural way of learning in everyday. So I think that the in word can be not used. It can be natural way of learning every day. Specific kind of a knowledge. Specific kind of knowledge, which I loved it. It can be which I loved. So yeah, thank you. That's all.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Anvay, for such a detailed language evaluation. I'm sure there are a lot of takeaways for everyone. So with that, we come to the end of tag report. Now, before I move on with the general evaluation report, may I request Toastmaster Mansi to launch poll for the debate session that we had today, where we had a team participating for affirmative. That was Toastmaster Ashutosh and Toastmaster Swapnil, and that team which was against the topic, which was Toastmaster Nishant and Jitin. So may I request everyone to vote for the best team in the debate topic. And as Mansi mentioned earlier, we request each one of you to vote so that we get the best representation for the winner today. So with that, let me now start with the general evaluation report. So let me begin with the Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Vinod. So you started meeting on time. You had a very good opening with a lot of inputs or thoughts on the theme, which made it very intriguing. And also you explained the rules very, very clearly. So I believe you did whatever is expected from Sergeant at Arms for any meeting, and very well done. I don't have any recommendations for you. Next one is timer. That's Toastmaster Mansi. I really love the way that you connected with the theme, where you said speaking is important with time. And then you said, as a timer, I'll be there for you to ensure that you are speaking in time. So very well done with that beginning. You explained the tool very clearly. You also had a backup process in mind, which you also highlighted during your introduction. You published the report on chat so that everyone notices it, even though you may mention the timing of the speakers, but since it's written and available on the chat, nobody can miss it. So that was also very well done. And you've been playing multiple roles and ensuring that timer role is done so meticulously. That's very commendable. The next one is our counter report, Toastmaster Vinod. Toastmaster Vinod, you explained your role very clearly. You had good structure to explain the UFO structure. We talked about how you are going to bucket the observations and present your report. So it was very understandable, very clear as an audience. When you presented your report, my recommendation would be that it could be slightly more brief or could be more structured, because some of the words were being repeated in terms of UFO. Since you have already defined UFO, you could have just bucketed that and presented it. So it's much more easy for people to take away. Another suggestion is that we could highlight what were the key phrases or frequently used words that people used during the day-to-day, so that we as audience and speakers specifically could avoid them in future. Going over to language evaluator, Anvay. Anvay, I really love the way that you use the PPT, PowerPoint, to kind of present the word of the day and the phrase of the day, as well as your report, where you clearly highlighted the good usage as well as not so good usage. You explained why they were not so good usage. You presented an alternate so that the speaker could incorporate that in their future attempts. So very well done on that. You also gave explanation of the adjective or the background of how this phrase of the day actually came about. So that again helped me remember. And whenever I hear this two to tango, I would always remember and can easily connect to that Spanish dance. So it made it much more relatable. And it was the both the word of the day and the phrase of the day were relatable to the theme. We could all use it, and especially with the debate, it was really fitting in there. So I believe very well done in terms of choice of both the both the choices. What I would recommend to you is when you explain your role, there could be a better structure in terms of explaining, saying that, okay, I'm going to talk about three things, and you can highlight that three, say, okay, I'm going to talk about word of the day, phrase of the day, I'm going to capture all the good usages, and I'm going to capture not so good usage. So you mentioned all of these things, but if you emphasize them very specifically and categorize them, it is easy for newcomers in the Toastmasters meeting to grab that and remember. Going over to the specific speech evaluators, Toastmaster Puneet, very fantastic evaluation that you did today. Unfortunately, you missed on the time. What I really loved was the way that you used the CRS approach. It was very structured. You had very clearly defined the three recommendations that you liked, and then you had recommendations. Only thing was that there was some repetition in the recommendations that you made, and that perhaps pushed you to rush up your summary. And what I would recommend is if you can close down your commendations by, say, definitely before 2 minutes, then you would have enough time to complete your evaluation in the given time. Otherwise, a great job done. Toastmaster Swarangi, I really love the way that you started by summarizing Toastmaster Nish's speech in just one line. And it was very clear, very apt, very easy to take away. One recommendation from my side would be whenever you did recommendations or you explain the recommendations, if you can give evidences. So we could all learn as participants in the meeting today how Toastmaster Puneet gave examples of with every recommendation that he made. So as evaluators, if we can incorporate that practice, it would really make our evaluations very effective. And the listener, the speaker who's looking at this evaluation can easily incorporate and relate your recommendations as well. Toastmaster Hina, I know this was your first evaluation. Great job done in your first evaluation. You had a reasonable structure in terms of how you explain. You followed the CRS approach, the recommendation summary approach. One recommendation that I would have for you is that your intro went for almost 45 to 50 seconds. So if you can cut it down and finish it within 30 seconds, that would help you to focus deeper into commendations and recommendations. And that would make your evaluation much more effective. Last one, Toastmaster Jitin. Again, you followed the CRS approach. You brought in the funny factor of Hitler. You gave examples of how things panned out. You explained with evidences. So very well done there. No specific recommendations from my side to you. Last but not the least, that's Toastmaster of the day, which is Toastmaster Rahul, the hero for the meeting. Toastmaster Rahul, I really love the way that you begin the meeting or your part with smile. You maintained a constant smile with most of your talk. You had a very fascinating theme, which everyone can connect with. You broke it down into nuggets and spread it over the meeting so that we have takeaways every few minutes of your talk. What I also loved was the way that you kept the meeting on time. Until debate session, we were almost on time. So that was really well done in terms of how you managed your own conversation and movement with the speakers. One recommendation specifically on the debate session was that if you could have added some transitions between the speaker, rather than just saying that I'm going to now call the affirmative speaker or the team, or I'm going to call the against team. If you could have just picked up one or two lines from what the speaker said, summarized it and tagged it back so that it would have made the debate session much more interesting. The second suggestion from my side would be if you could have taken some more understanding about the debate session or even the speech titles from Toastmaster Mansi or whoever coordinating with the other club, I understand that this was a joint meeting and you may have challenges in terms of getting the speech title, but specifically for debate, you could have gotten more understanding from someone in the club who has done this in the past, so that you are better prepared and you could manage it without seeking any support during the meeting. The third thing is, we all do mistakes, but you don't need to necessarily say sorry. Just go on. The show must go on. And I think you were doing fantastic. Overall, a great job done as Toastmaster of the day. As I mentioned, the timing was very well and everything was good. So big round of applause for all the role players. Everyone has done a great job today. A general recommendation for everyone in the audience, and nothing specific, but I will just point out, there were examples that I noticed today where in our speech, we unintentionally talk about, it was 2 to 3 days back, or it was 10 to 15 minutes of time. When we are telling a story, when we are very specific, my recommendation would be that let's be specific about that as well and just say 10 minutes or 2 minutes or 2 days rather than saying 2 to 3 days or 10 to 15 minutes. So I'll just pick up Toastmaster Nitish's example where he was telling the story. He said, I reached 10 to 15 minutes before on the stage. You can just say, I reached 15 minutes before on the stage. Nobody needs to really worry about 10 to 15, but being specific leaves a much more impact on your storytelling. That's a feedback or tip for everyone in the audience. With that, a great meeting. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Back to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rahul.
Thank you, Toastmaster Parija. It was a great report, great general evaluation report. Actually, I have written a short note and I would like to recite in front of all of you. And I request all of you to close your eyes. So,
Sorry to interrupt. Can we take the polling first so that I can make the certificates before the
sure,
closing address?
Yeah.
So please go ahead and
Please vote for the best role player. Rahul, you can go ahead.
Okay, so could all of you just close your eyes for just 3 to 4 minutes? I know all of you. You are tired, but just 3 to. Hello.
Yeah, Rahul, please. Yeah, we can hear you.
Because all your faces that the frames got frozen. So I thought that. Okay, so please close your eyes. Okay, so I'll recite this message, and imagine yourself that you are reciting the same message to your loved ones. I'll be there for you, even if we have been apart for years, even if there are arguments at times, even if I scold you sometimes. I'll always love you from the bottom of my heart. I'll be there for you. The fun times we had, the things you taught me, which made me a better person. This I'll never ever forget. I'll walk through hell with you, but I'll never make you suffer because I'm there for you. You taught me the definition of love. Love is giving. Love is forgiving. That's sharing your miseries and sorrows along with those fun moments as well. That is love. I'll always be there for you because I simply want to. I'll be with you through thick and thin. I'll never stop wanting to help you. I'll never stop opening my heart to you, no matter how many times you tried to close it. So, this is my forever promise to you. I'll always be there when you need me. I'll always be someone you can count on. I'll always be the one you can lean on and the one you could trust. As the song goes, I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you, like I've been there before. I'll be there for you because you've been there for me too. So all of you could open your eyes. Actually, those last 3 lines were from the Song of Friends. So, I'm not good at singing, so I just recited it. So I believe that, you guys would have been motivated enough to, help all the people in your lives and, extend a token of gratitude to all the people who have helped you in the past. So yeah, thank you so much. So over to Toastmaster Mansi for the awards.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul. Today's meeting was a wonderful collaboration between two senior clubs. Now, in the interest of time, I will be taking feedback from the guests, from 2 to 3 guests only. Toastmaster Puneet, are you there? Would love to have your feedback.
Puneet, are you there?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Excellent. I was just typing. I was replying to you, Parijit, on private. But having said that, I always enjoy visiting TMCP West. Yes, I'm unofficially a member of it, but I really enjoyed. And Baner is known for producing champion speakers, and TMCP West is known for creating innovative meeting. And it was best of both worlds for me. So thank you so much, Mansi and Parijit. Beautiful collaboration, and it was the best of both the worlds. So thank you. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Puneet. Keep visiting our club and keep visiting BTMC also. Who are the guests? I don't know the remaining guests. I mean, are they members of BTMC or are they guests? I'm confused.
Let's just check. I think we have.
I mean, you can ask guests to come forward and give feedback.
I think, please, guests, if you can. I don't know if there is any guest left. Some people have dropped off now.
Good evening. I am guest Sujata. Hello.
Hi, Sujata. Please give us a feedback of the meeting, how you felt in 15 to 20 seconds.
Good evening, everybody. Today's meeting was fantastic. The first topic was very interesting about bank transaction, and the debate was very interesting also. And later, the evaluation was given. It was also very learning type. Whatever mistake we are doing, we are able to rectify those. At least someone is telling us what we have actually made. So I enjoyed the meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sujata. Please keep visiting Toastmasters. You will certainly have more to learn in every meeting. Now let us move on to the awards. I know everyone is agog to know who are the winners in today's meeting, especially the debate session. Let me share my screen. Okay, the first award is for the best evaluator, Toastmaster Swarangi and Toastmaster Hina. Congratulations. I was actually a bit surprised when Toastmaster Parijat said that it was Toastmaster Hina's first evaluation. Certainly did not feel like that. Now the next award goes to Toastmaster Parijat for the best role player for his meticulous GE report. Congratulations, Toastmaster Parijat. Now for the best debate team. Any guesses here? Okay. The best debate team is Toastmaster Nishant and Toastmaster Jitin. Congratulations. I'm a computer engineer, and I certainly feel that students should be taught coding from a young age, but it actually depends on the execution. That's what I feel. The idea is good, it has to be executed nicely. That's the main thing. Now the last award, that is for the best speaker, Toastmaster Yatin. Congratulations, Toastmaster Yatin. Let us have a huge round of applause for all the winners of today's meeting.
Thank you.
Last but not the least, the announcements. We will have the elections for the new EXCOM, which will serve from January to June, January 2021 to June 2021 on 25th November. Members who are interested, please send a message to the nomination committee, which comprises of Toastmaster Vivaswan, Toastmaster Sachin, and Toastmaster Tushar. And if you are confused about which role to take, talk with the respective EXCOM officers. For example, I am the VP Education, Toastmaster Swapnil is the VP Membership. So please think about it, because you will learn, you will get to learn many new things, and you will certainly improve as a leader. The nomination window is open until next Wednesday, and we will also have an educational session on the various roles of EXCOM on that Wednesday itself. So you will be more clear about those roles. And I will officially close the meeting now. Toastmaster Parijat, do you have any announcements from your side?
Nothing right now. Toastmaster Matsi, it was just a great
So
meeting.
I will officially close the meeting. We can